Okay, guys, my list set in stone. Perfect. I rated every game that I love. I have not missed a single one. I did this list like 5 times this morning.
I was happy to see that the Downfall of Pompeii moved up.
Oh, crap. I got to redo this list again.
Again?
Hey, guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Mike.
And this is Board Game Rundown, and today is like the best kind of day because we are doing our first of our top 50. We are doing 50 through 41 today.
Yes.
We're going to kind of rapid fire, not like super rapid fire. We're not going to spend a ton of time. This isn't going to be a super long episode, but we're going to give these games their due.
Yeah.
And
We'll be brisk.
But we'll be brisk doing it. Real quick.
Yes.
Anything
Criteria.
special with your lists or criteria or anything you want to point out about your list before we get going?
Well, I'll say, kind of like we've done with our previous ones, I try to say the player count I want, time is not an issue, right? Because obviously, you know, when you're IRL trying to make decisions what games to play, that a lot of that comes into play. Like, well, we
100%.
only got like an hour. We're not going to be busting out, you know, X's and allies or
Ideal
something like
conditions
that.
for this game.
Ideal conditions, giving it its best shot. Which would I rather play?
Absolutely. We all use PubMeeple to rank them. That is a great site. You can put your BGG username in there. So awesome for ranking games.
Yep.
And really, this is like personal hotness. Like there's an ebb and a flow. My list can change once a month, once a week. I play a game, it moves up, it moves down. It's what do I want to play the most right now is
Literally,
my...
Mike's list has changed probably 3 times this week. You're like, oh, wait, I gotta change, put this in there.
I just
Oh, wait,
changed a
can't
couple
put this in
more
there.
right before we hit record.
Well,
So-
and I've had the same problem is I was doing my list, was like, well, oh, this game isn't on that list. Go back and redo it. You know, go back and redo it.
I'm sure there's games I forgot.
Yeah, there probably will be some, and that'll be a bummer. But this list is agonizing for me, and this year, more than any other year, I've done 0 post PubMeeple manipulation.
Wow.
Right, you playing it where it lies.
I'm playing it where it lies. I'm going to deal with the list emotionally.
I did have one on here that's not quite out yet, but I did play the finished like post-production or pre-production copy.
Oh, okay.
So it's in its final version for the most part.
Sure.
Right? They might tweak some like cuts and die cuts and stuff.
The game you might be talking about would definitely be, I would definitely put it on my new to me of 2024.
Okay.
If it's the one I'm thinking.
It might be.
I, on the other hand, did my PubMeeple ranking like a couple weeks before we even started this, so I've had time to kick the ball back into the fairway.
Yeah, see, that's why I literally finished it like 2 hours ago.
Ugh, man.
Because I needed to
shudder
redo
to think
it.
that I'd missed something.
Yeah, well, I mean,
needed
it was,
to redo it.
mine was less than that. I was literally cooking breakfast this morning, like doing my last couple ones. That was,
Exactly. I'm like going through, because I started it 3 times, restarted it 3 times this morning because it's like, oh, I forgot this. I gotta put this in.
no, that's
oh, I
crazy.
forgot that. I gotta put this
That's
in.
crazy talk.
Okay.
So-
wow.
Nightmare fuel, but I love it. It's so good. So Bob,
With that, we're gonna cast this in stone then, right?
we're gonna cast this.
Cast it in stone.
Or at
Make
least-
sure before we get started, like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of the
Yes.
feedback. We are going to do our top 100, but 100 through 51 we're going to be doing on our live show. It's every Wednesday night. We drink whiskey, the 3 of us. We talk games. So 100 through 51 will spread out for the next
I
couple
think a
months.
cooler name is the top 50 after 50.
Yeah, 50 after 50.
Hey, name is not locked in stone. So.
Right.
All right.
All right, Bobby.
Yeah. So
Number
my
50.
Number 50. Number 50 for me.
Wait a
this
minute.
one-
We're starting with number 10. Or
What? Why would you start with number 10? We good?
We're good.
yes.
Okay.
Leave it in. Yeah, right. So. My number 50. This game, I don't want to say it came back on the map for me, but there was a show that was released on Amazon Prime, and I really enjoyed the show. But this game is called Outlive, and in Outlive, you are post-apocalyptic. You have your bunker that you're trying to like fix up and bring people into and whatnot. I've been trying to get Mike to play this game forever. It's a big box. I have the collector's edition, and I've been hauling it around with me everywhere I go with Mike in the hopes that we get a chance to get it to the table, and we have not. But I really want to get this game to the table again. I really enjoy it. You're just kind of battling for resources, like I said, building up your bunker and trying to survive the radiation. So it's kind of like if the Fallout game was good. It would be. It would be Outlive.
Yeah,
because the Fantasy Flight original one was not.
Yeah.
I love that IP. I know Mike DeLisio ranks this game very high. I need to try it. Like
it was
ASAP.
fun. I remember playing it when you first got it. I enjoyed it. I'd definitely play that again. All right, my number 50 is definitely new to me this year. I don't remember exactly when it came out, but I'm talking about Dubious.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, Dubious is so much fun. You have a role and a job, and you have one that you are not, of each. And everybody, basically, you're going to draw these cards. They're going to ask you a question. You have to describe, you have to answer this question in a descriptive way to try to give people clues. And then you're going to score points based on how many people get it, but as long as not everybody
you
gets it.
can't be too obvious.
Yeah, you gotta be a little dubious.
A little dubious.
Yeah. But this game is just so dang good. I really enjoy it. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But the social aspect of this game, the storytelling aspect of this game is super fun, and I really appreciate it. And there's so much room for growth with like the
different scenarios and whatnot.
You could do with that.
Because they have like a fantasy version. They've got like I think a Victorian era version,
and then like a sci-fi version.
Like a sci-fi version. But yeah, like playing that fantasy one, it just reminds me of playing like D&D. Yeah. And you're just like talking about your character and what you see and this and that.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's
so much fun. All right, Mike.
It is a lot of fun. The creativity you can deploy while making up your character is a lot of fun. My number 50, new to my top 50, not new to me. It's Dark Moon.
Nice.
I looked last year. I had this ranked at number 51. It moved up one spot because we played it at QSCon, and even were able to ask the designer Evan Derrick a rules clarification. This has been one of my favorite social deduction games for a long time. It's a semi-cooperative game where you're a bunch of players that are uninfected players trying to repair your ship so you can fly back from the dark moon of Saturn, Titan, back to the Earth. Except there's infected players that are trying to thwart everything you do. And I love how quickly the suspicion arises in this game. 2/3 of the dice have negative numbers on them, but you have to submit just one positive number to successfully repair a part of the ship. As soon as one person puts a negative number on that board, they are on the hot list. You are immediately accusing them.
Yeah.
I love the instant suspicion that comes out of this. There's tons of tension from start to finish. Dark Moon, I'm happy to move it up into my top 50.
BSG Express, man. Great pick.
Yeah.
Love it.
I haven't had a chance to. I think I played it once a long time ago, but I have not played it recently.
You didn't play with us when we played it at?
I did not.
Oh, yeah, you were.
I walked up afterwards, right when Mike played out of turn.
Oh, yeah. It was so
Bring that up
good.
again.
It's still moved up. It's still moved up a spot. I love this game.
So epic. All right.
All right.
Number 49.
My number 49 has been in my top 50 for a while, but it has slipped a bit. I didn't pull up my old rankings to see what it was last year, but I remember it being in the top 50. Abomination, the Heir of Frankenstein.
Nice.
So this is a really kind of grisly worker placement game where you are literally gathering body parts and trying to assemble a body on your tableau, and then you're hitting it with electricity, and you're trying to animate it and move it around, and it's just a ton of fun, and like it's just so thematic. Like you can go to the graveyard and get older bits, but you don't get as many points for bring them back to life, or you can kill somebody and get the freshest of bits, and then you get
hang
more
out
points.
like outside, just outside of the gallows,
waiting for someone to be hung. Oh, you're gonna use that, and then take the body away and use it for parts, or you can go the Tim route and go to the pet cemetery or whatever. It's the 60% tiger blood.
That dude's wearing pants, so you can't see like the one cat leg and the one dog leg. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
They don't gotta know.
Yeah, but no, it's just a great worker placement game. I haven't played with the accelerated start. I'm curious too because it can run a little long. So I would like to try the accelerated start to see if that could shorten the game length a little bit. But it's a fantastic game and worth trying out. And it's one of my favorite Halloween games to play.
I just traded for a copy of this game, so
Nice.
I'm very very happy that I got one now. So great pick. My number 49. I know this. I think this was in my top 50 last year, but it was not this low. But that's not a comment on how I feel about the game, honestly, because there's just so many good games. I'm talking about Descent, Legends of the Dark.
Nice.
This game's just awesome. The app is great. The branching paths, the different things you can do with your characters. You can level them up. You can choose what kind of equipment you want to.
I love like the dual side of your character. So as you do stuff, you have different abilities on either side.
It's very cool, and it just builds on a great system that was Descent 2nd edition. I've never played 1st edition, so I won't speak to that one. But I just really enjoy this game. The 3D terrain and landscape is awesome, and there's just a
build as you go mapping.
Ton of stuff you can do with this game. Really good, and if you've got the money or you find a cheap copy, it's worth it if you want to really try an immersive dungeon crawl.
Can literally get like over 100 hours of gameplay out of that game.
One
playthrough.
And it's way more accessible than Gloomhaven. I'm not going to say better or worse.
Right,
because I haven't played enough.
Lower rules overhead.
Yes. So for me, I will take that accessibility and ease of getting it to the table. All right, Mike.
One of my gateway games. My number 49 is new to me. I don't think Bob saw this one coming. It's Fleet the Dice game.
Whoa.
I really enjoy Fleet the Dice game. Now, I had played the original card game a long time ago, but I traded away because I thought it had some issues. I've been hearing how good the dice game is for years. I finally played it multiple times this year. This might be one of my favorite roll and write games.
Yeah.
I really like this game, and there's multiple different strategies to deploy. There's tons of combos. There's tons of that. I scratch off this, which allows me to scratch off this, which now allows me to buy a better lobster boat, and there's tons of that. There's tons of combos. It's very fulfilling. You're doing some set collecting. There's a lot of different special abilities that you can get, and you're not going to get all of them in every game.
Right.
So every game you're like perfectly crafting this little engine to get the resources that you need to score more points. I like this theme a lot. I'm a fisherman, so I think it's cool how there's a fishing phase, and you're just filling in your little fish on the boat, and this boat catches a couple fish, and this boat catches a couple fish, and you're just building up every round. It just works for me, man. It's a really good engine builder. It's got tons of combos. That's everything I want in a roll and write. Fleet the Dice game, new to my
Karen
list.
for introducing us.
To absolutely.
That was fantastic. Yeah.
Shout out to Karen, who famously does not watch.
That's right. Thanks for not watching.
We love you, hugs.
That's funny. All right, so that's going to bring us to our number 48. So my number 48 is not a very popular one on this channel. It gets kind of poo-pooed quite a bit, but I love me some hidden movement. But Sniper Elite, the board game.
I think I'm the only one that poo-poos this game.
Well, you weren't the only one that used to poo-poo.
Oh, fair.
But no, I mean, I guess I haven't played the actual video game of this, but it's just, to me, it made being the others more fun. A lot of times when you're playing like a 1v mini, I play the one quite a bit because I'm usually the most fluent in the game, so it's easier for like that.
Also, you like more fun for you. You like being the one.
I do. I do.
You
That's
like
I do.
trying to outsmart everybody.
But one of my other games I really enjoy, like Letters from Whitechapel, like it's way more fun to be Jack and do like the bob and the weaving and trying to run away than it is to be the cops. So basically, you're like, I'm gonna move here and I'll search or I'll arrest, and that's really like all you can do. So it does kind of like limit what you can do when you're playing as the others. But in the Sniper Elite game, you have abilities and you can like deploy your dogs and you can like do all types of like other searching things. Like there's just more options of stuff to do when you are the others. I think that will help to bring more people in to play it, because like I said, sometimes I feel like being the many is not as fun, and Sniper Elite does more things to help that become a better game for the many. And either way, when you're the one, it's fun because it's bag building with this one, and you're pulling out your chips and you're trying to take your shots, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it.
Man, I think I forgot to put Letters from Whitechapel on my ranking thing.
Ooh.
I'm not seeing it. Like,
Didn't
I'm
you
scrolling
add
through.
in like your BG stats? Because you can add your BG stats.
I don't link my stats to my BGG
You
page.
should.
Yeah, I should.
Because even games I don't own that I've only played popped up on my.
Well, that's where I was running into problems, is I was having to go back and add like, oh, I don't own that game. I need to add it to my list.
Yep.
All right, well, I respect your pick.
Thanks.
It's your list. No, my number 48, I was very late to this game. I just played it for the first time last year. But that's Everdell. I just really like Everdell. It's a very straightforward, sort of engine builder, worker placement. You're just getting those cards, that tableau builder, right? And they fire off and do other things.
I haven't played it. I played Far Shore.
So,
but I haven't played.
yeah, Far Shore's good too.
Yeah, but I haven't played the actual Everdell.
Yeah, I think Far
That's the
Shore.
tree, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
but-
Far Shore fixes some things that some people didn't like with Everdell. I guess that I didn't necessarily have a problem with because like the way some of the market works, and you've got these little anchors. But regular Everdell, and I haven't even played it with all the expansions. I've just played it maybe with one of them, and I've heard that the other expansions really like broaden the game. But I appreciate the accessibility, the great art. This, unlike some other games, this is what I would call like a cozy game. Like this one is because it's easy and it's relaxing, and you're not like fighting.
I think it was made with that intent.
Trying to, well, there's a game that we talked about that is famously like markets itself as a cozy game, and it's so agonizing just to try to figure out the dang rules to the stupid thing that it does not feel cozy.
Okay. Curious to know what that is.
You played it.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You don't even remember it because it wasn't that fun. Anyways, Everdell is my number 48.
I'll be talking about one of my new cozy games later. My number 48 moved up a couple spots. It's Downfall of Pompeii.
Yeah. Forgot to
Yeah.
list this one too.
It was number...
Oh my god!
Oh,
You're killing me, Smalls.
arbitrary rankings.
Listen.
Downfall of Pompeii is just the game. It's like a modern classic. It's the game that's never going to go anywhere. It's perfect to teach to anybody. Plays quick. Putting your people out into buildings, moving into the city of Pompeii, and then
Lava.
things start to hit the
Nothing
fan.
bad happens.
Floor's
and
lava.
Nothing bad happened. It's very cozy.
It's very
you're
cozy. It gets
strategically
warm.
placing your lava tiles and moving your people out of the city. But if lava covers, that's lava and cover in the same
yeah,
word.
okay.
So if you cover people in lava, you throw them into the volcano, which is the best part. You got to do it with sound effects.
I think Mike just Freudian slip that he smothers people he loves.
He does.
Before I throw them in the volcano, I want them to know before they're burning alive that I do love you. But it was great knowing you. I'm sorry. One last hug. But yeah, Downfall of Pompeii is great. I bet Bob's going to have it much higher.
Fantastic.
But he's the reason why this game's on my list, and he's been bringing it to all the meetups, and it doesn't disappoint. It's a ton
This
of
is a
fun.
game
you
that
own
I
it.
don't own, and it's why I keep missing it when I do these dang lists, because I don't own it.
I'm going to revert back to my previous statement about linking your BG stats to your. Because then as you've
theme.
played it, it'll be
Oh,
available.
it's right here. It's my 53.
Oh yeah, okay. But no, I'm glad you like that game, Mike. And yes, I do take it everywhere. And you owned this game for a long time. Had it in Shrink, never played it, and
Yeah.
I finally taught it to you.
I popped the shrink on your game.
my-
taught it
yeah.
to pop the
In
Shrink
my
on his game.
collection.
Yeah,
I was like, Mike, can we play this? Yeah.
nice.
I taught Caleb and maybe his brother and
Yeah,
somebody
sounds
else.
about right.
Always a hit.
It's a great game.
Number 47. My number 47 is a very crunchy game. I would say it hits close to home because it's kind of by where my mom is from. But Lisboa
Hey.
is a very crunchy game with tons of mechanisms in it. And I love it. I haven't had a chance to play it for a while because it does take a while. I love the Ian O'Toole art on it. And it's...
I mean,
It's
fantastic Eagle Griffin production value.
Yeah, you know,
Blah, blah,
and you're
blah.
dealing with so way back in the day when Lisboa was hit with fires and earthquakes and tsunamis, and you're trying to work together with the crown to repair and rebuild Lisboa into the big city that it once was. And it's just a lot of decisions that are going on and things you're juggling, but it's a ton of fun. It's a great one. So.
That's good. That's really good. I haven't played it. Love to play it, though. It looks great, and I've only ever heard great things. My number 47, sort of like on theme with yours, we're building something. We're building something great, and that is Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Nice.
This is the amalgamation of a game that I really like, and they improved, and a game that I didn't like that much, and they drastically improved.
yeah.
Because I was not in love with Mad King Ludwig, but I really love Between Two Castles. What a great version. Super fun. This game plays very quickly. You're drafting tiles. You're building two different castles with your neighbors, and you're only going to score your lowest castle. So
You can't ignore
you
one.
cannot ignore one. There's tons of Easter eggs in this. This probably is one of my like all-time favorite Stonemaier games. You know, like that they have put out. This game's great.
Yeah, definitely better than the 2, right? There's the 2 games they took, they meshed together,
Yes.
and then of the 3, it's definitely the best one.
In my opinion, that is definitely the case.
That is a
Between Two
correct
Cities
opinion.
is fine, but when Between Two Castles came out, I would never even look at it.
Yeah.
Like again,
Yeah.
because I will only play Between Two Castles.
Yep, it's good.
But
Just
it's
miss
a great
on
game.
top of it.
Really enjoy it. It's very fast and it's pretty easy to teach. The hardest part is scoring, and it's not even that bad. You just
Kind of go in rows.
Just go beat by beat,
Yeah.
right, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Nice.
that's my 47.
My number 47, not a sponsor, but could be, brought to you by Elijah Craig. I've got their Toasted Barrel here, which comes in at 47% alcohol. This is a new favorite pour of mine. My number 47 on theme is Beer and Bread. Beer and Bread is a 2-player only game from Capstone, designed by Scott Alms. I was taught this game at the last JuliaCon I was at. It's a 2-player only game, so I just went in that side room, learned this. It's been in my collection for a couple years. I finally got this played. This is a very good game where you're either building beer or you're making bread. And so you're getting these cards, either one of each, and some of them you're using as contract fulfillment. You're trying to gather resources and get the resources necessary to fulfill your beer or bread contracts. But you can also take those cards, tuck them under your side of the board, and they give you special powers. So you're trying to build this engine that allows you to do each one efficiently. It plays very quick. You can finish a whole game in like 45 minutes, even faster with experience. But what's interesting about this is you're only going to score based on which one you have the lowest score of.
Nice.
So you can't specialize and go all in on making bread. You've got to do both. So you only score the lowest. It's got really good engine building in it. Every other round, they do it as a draft. So you've got your hand, but you're going to have to alternate your hand with the player you're playing against. So a little bit of trying to remember what cards are in your hand when you're handing it across the table, and knowing what's going to come back to you on the next round. I really enjoyed this game. I can't wait to play it again, and it's already in my collection.
Nice.
I really thought you were going to say distilled.
Yeah, with whiskey.
Yeah, I know, right? But
Or
we're
a game that I had heard of.
sticking with the booze theme. That's unfortunate.
I've heard of it. I saw him playing it.
It's very popular.
Yeah, that was a Darcy teach, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, she's a good
Nice.
teacher. All right. It takes us down to number 46. My number 46 is a hit at this table. We might see it coming up. We'll see. But Lords of Vegas is a fan. Dude, seriously?
It's not even on my list.
Did you not
Somehow.
rank it?
It never even came across. I don't know how it didn't. I am like shocked at myself
Hang
right
on,
now.
we're going to pause while Tim redoes his list.
Oh my God,
again.
redo my whole list. No, just keep going.
But yeah, so Lords of Vegas is not area control, but you are buying these different areas, territories. You can try to negotiate and trade. You can build up, always play with the up expansion. If people have a similar type of casino next to you, they will merge if they're the same height. And then it's going to be whoever has the highest die roll. You can do a reorganization where you force everybody to re-roll their dice. And it can be hilarious because they might have 3 or 4 dice and you've only got the 1. But if you roll that 6 and the highest number they roll is a 5, I am the manager now, right? And it's just a ton of fun. I have like the fancy suitcase that it goes into with like the cool bits in it, which is almost unfortunate because they're going to do another expansion, I heard, and I don't know if it's going to fit.
It's already out.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to fit inside there, which is sad panda days for me. But still, it's an awesome game. It reminds me a little bit of like Chinatown a little bit. But I enjoy this theme a little better. You can go gamble at other people's establishment, and then you basically, if you win, you forcing them to pay. Well, they get to choose. They can either cover the bet or just take half of it. But just still, you can kind of like take money from people by gambling in their establishments, and it's just a great game, and it should play more.
One of the
Oh
things
my
they put in the
gosh.
expansion is there's different ways to bet at people's casinos now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Americana expansion, I believe.
I
But
would definitely be looking
that
for
fulfilled in the last couple months. I can't wait to play this again. I'll be talking about it more later.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tim's finding a way to work it in real quick.
No, I can't. There's no way. There's no way I
There
can.
is.
I'm trying to see if I've got it actually linked to my BGG page, but man, I'll do that while Mike's talking. I'm going to look at my number 46. It kind of hurt me that this was this low because this is a family favorite in my household, and that is the Quacks of Quedlinburg. A very strong Wolfgang Warsch game. Really enjoy the press your luck. As you're in the bag building, as you're getting those chips, and then you're just, you're drawing them out of your bag and you're trying to fill that pot. And you're going around that swirl. Well, do I stop? Because you don't want to explode by drawing too many of those white chips. And then, if you do explode, the awesome thing is you're totally not like screwed. You still can either use currency to buy new chips to add them to your bag, or you can just take points. So having that option still feels good. And there's also a really fun catch-up mechanic with the rat tails. So that's going to elevate how far
your starting spot, like increase your starting
spot. You're going to start a little farther up the track there, and that which really helps. And this game is just super fun. I always have a good time, even when I'm doing really badly, because it's just there's
pressure luck.
Yeah, it's just I appreciate the thrill of that.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say, so this is one of those games where I'm a little competitive when it comes to playing board games, or a little bit. But this is one of those games I don't care. I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling bits out, adding to my pot. If I bust, it doesn't bother me so much, right? It's like one of those games like, I had 0 points. Oh, well.
Even if you play bad, it's fun just building your bag.
It is.
And just rifling your hands through them.
It is. And they do a fantastic job with giving you multiple options for what the chips do.
Yes.
So those tokens, those ingredients that you're adding, you can basically set up before you play the game, have them each do something different than the time you played before.
Yeah.
There's still combinations that I have not tried because there's just some that I like, and we always want to use.
And there was a discussion, I'm not sure if it was in our Discord or not, which if you're not in our Discord, get in our Discord because we like to talk on there.
Yeah, we do.
But somebody was talking about how, somebody they play with always buys the blue ones where you can pull them out and choose the one you want.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And how do you counteract that or go against that strategy? And okay, you play with a different side.
Yeah.
Just tell them, just stop letting them use that particular side of the card, the recipe card.
Yep.
And just make them use a different ability.
It's 4 options for every color. There's
so just
tons
pick a
of different ways to
and
play.
they might whine and just tell them too bad.
Yeah, try something different.
Yeah, okay, well, play with that one so you can still have a couple, but just stop buying just those.
Yeah.
Because they can be a little broken.
Sure.
Great game, only because it's older and we play a lot of newer stuff as it fallen down my list a little bit. Okay, my number 46 is definitely a big hit at this table, and that is Resurgence. This is, Stan Kordonsky, my favorite game from him, and this game has, it's got bag building, it's got worker placement, your workers determine what spots on the board you can go to. Also, you are secretly planning where your workers are going to go, and then when you reveal them, the certain types will move you up a track that gives you special abilities. You can get more workers to pull each round, but really what makes this game shine is the card synergies, because you are building these engines where this card taps this round, and that's going to give me these 2 resources. That resource makes this card tap this round, and that's going to give me this stuff. Well, this card taps this round, and that is so satisfying when you get the right card synergies in this game. The engine building is very satisfying. The bag building feels useful. Big fan of Resurgence from Half a Kingdom Games. Also worth noting, this is getting reprinted by Portal. It'll get
different
wider
art
distribution. It'll get more copies printed. So if you are not able to get it your hands on first edition Resurgence, keep an eye on Portal's reprint.
I do really like that box art better than the new box art.
Me too.
But that's me.
Yeah, I like that one too. But also one of the things about the game that I really enjoy, Mike kind of touched on it a little bit, but it's almost like a hidden deployment, because there's 3 different sections on your board, and so you can either choose to set your guys to, and it's going to be like the harbor section, another section, or on your home base. Excuse me. And then when you lift your shield up, and then you are going to gain points. So whoever has the highest strength value in each of those zones is going to move up these tracks. That's going to get your resources. It's going to allow you to retire some of the basic dudes and get them out of your bag. And then you have to then deploy your guys to those areas. And there's cards you can get that say well, even though you put this guy on this area, you can treat it as if you put it in a different area. So that kind of allows you to give you some more versatility to go to different areas and zones. And just there's a lot about this game that I really like. So
contract fulfillment, as you're getting quests that you complete by doing certain things. It's really good.
Yeah, which kind of builds a tableau builder that at the end of each round, you're going to start to gain bonuses for each of the stuff that like places you completed quests at. So yeah, there's
multiple engines you can build in this game. It's very satisfying.
Good pick, Mike.
I'll talk about it later.
Me too.
I know.
Yeah, why'd you talk so much now then?
Oh, shenanigans. Okay. Number
45.
Number 45 is the first new to me game on my list. There will be quite a few. This was one of those games that we played it, loved it, re-racked, played it again right away, and any game that can do that is good. But Endeavor Deep Sea is fantastic. There's like so many different missions you can do. There's these different like a board where you're putting these little hexagons out there and gaining influence and stuff through and points on that board and resources. You are exploring the sea and you're diving and you have to like use your board and move up to either increase the movement and depth value of your sub, or you can do, how we call them, text messages. You increase that, so you can every turn when you buy a new person for your team, you can get different tiers of them. There's just so many different things that you can do with this game, and like I said, there's 10 different missions to play through. So there's just so much replayability that this game has that I had to put it on there.
I can't wait to play this.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
This is now my favorite game from Burn Island Games. I have it ranked very highly.
Nice.
I like this game a lot.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, my number 45 will come as a shock to no one because I'm changing my list and putting Lords of Vegas at 45, and what my 45 was is going to get
Bumped
moved
to
down.
50 after 50.
Yeah,
It
somewhere
happens.
in there. It's got to happen. Lords of Vegas is too good. I love this game too much. I play it too much with my family to not have it in my top 50.
Yeah.
It must be in my top 50. It must. Everything these guys said. It is it's sort of the luck of the draw with the cards and what casinos you build, but you choose what casinos you want to build, and you're making educated decisions based on how many cards are potentially
it's a luck
still
of the
in that
draw as to
deck.
what location, but then you're choosing which style of casino you
Yes,
want to build.
because you don't know which ones are going to pay out, and and then where do you want to build up and invest, and then again the hostile takeovers. Well, I'm going to build one right here that's just like his. Because I got a 6.
That's right.
And I'm just going to try it. Yep. Well, that's mine now.
Yeah.
And then force him to do a hostile takeover and spend that
All
money.
that money to reroll those dice.
All that money.
Yeah.
And it may not work. It may not pay off. It's so much fun. I love this game. They already talked about it. I will not beat a dead mobster and bury him somewhere in Indiana.
That's fantastic. I'll talk about it more.
It's a great freaking game.
Nice.
Lords of Vegas, 45.
Sweet.
My number 45, a big hit at this group. It's Forges of Ravenshire.
Might talk about that later.
Yep. So here's the thing about Forges is that we did all of our coverage for the Kickstarter, which was a year and a half ago. Played this game like 4 or 5 times last year. Played it 3 or 4 more times this year. So lots of exposure to it, and it's a great game. It is my new cozy game. When I want,
That is a cozy game.
When I want an engine builder that gives me some things to think about, and it gives me a lot of options, but they're not so crunchy where I'm like, oh, what do I do? I play Forges of Ravenshire. I thoroughly enjoy this game. I like the different variable player powers that can give you different strategies each time you play. I love dice rolling. I like the way that the workers are used in this game. The dice, it's very smart. There's no one number that is more important than other
always
numbers.
have to roll higher. Always got to roll low. But
Every number is viable.
And
You'll
useful.
need 1s as badly as you'll need the 6s.
Yes.
Just a very fun game with cute animal art.
Let's say, and if you need to change it, they have talismans that you can use to change the die. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
dice manipulation, so you're
yes.
not just stuck with a die roll.
There's tons of ways to
Tons
mitigate.
of
Yep.
mitigation.
I'll talk
You're
about it.
just, I
Yeah, I'll
love
talk about
games
it.
that give me a ton of resources and say, here, do what you want with all those resources. It's a big hit here. We'll talk about it more later.
I wanted to put it on my list last year when we had all the exposure to it, but I refrained because it wasn't out yet.
Yes.
And now that it's finally out,
It's
I
on the
will
list
talk
with a
about it.
vengeance.
It is on
Worth
the list
noting,
with a vengeance.
we do only put games on our list that are available retail. So if you've heard us talk about them on Kickstarter previews, wait until they've fulfilled, and then we'll talk about them on our top 50.
Yeah. It's tough, too, because there's some games that we've
There's
seen
a
coming down the
bunch.
pipe that are just like,
Absolutely.
oh, it's so good.
We'll also do a best of 2025 because we do a lot of Kickstarter previews. So.
Yeah. All right, Bob.
Number 44. So Tim missed the boat with this one because you never know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
No, it's not that one. That's funny. It's not Darwin's Journey.
I know for sure. That's what you're gonna
Hilarious.
say.
That would have been great. I was going to call an odd one out to make it there. But no, so when this game came out, there were a lot of Viking games coming out.
Oh, I see.
And so Tim was just kind of like over the Vikings at this point in time. But this game has some really cool mechanisms, and I really think that he should play it. But Fire and Axe of Viking Saga is super fun because not only is there kind of like a trading and like pick up and deliver type of aspect where you're picking up your resources and taking them to different cities, but you can also try to, raid and pillage those cities and like take them over. And there's a wind dial, so the wind is blowing a certain direction. So traveling with the wind, you can move further. But if you're trying to go into it, then you can't go as far. But you can do prayers to the gods to try to get them to change the wind. And then there's just kind of so much going on and some neat things to it. It's an older game. I think it's from like 2013 or something like that. So it's a little bit older of a game. But I want to play it more.
Came out same time as like Champions and Blood Rage. And all that
there were a lot of other Viking games coming out. Well, at least when we discovered that game, there were a lot of other Viking games coming out, and Tim was just over Vikings at that point, and so
I'll make you a deal. I got a game you'll play with me and give a shot, and I will play that with you and give it a shot.
All right. Well, more
Sounds
than
awful.
likely, we'll see.
It hasn't been one that you have played and gone, I don't like this.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah. Fire next.
My number 44 is a 1v many hidden movement game. No, it is not Letters from Whitechapel. I don't even know where I'd put that on in here. If it would make the top 50, that's how crazy my top 50 is right now. Like Lords of Vegas, I knew hands down needed to be on there. But this one I love because it captures the theme, and it's a company that I don't think enough people know about. And I'm talking about Trick or Treat Studios Halloween. This really captures that Mike Myers
feeling.
As you are running from him, you're scrambling, trying to find the kids from house to house. How you end your turn and what direction you're facing
matters so much.
I just got this week, and I haven't read the rules for the updated version, but Halloween 2.
Nice.
And I'm really excited to play that also. But they just do a really good job of capturing the theme and the vibe and the tension. Because that's one of the great things in a 1v many game, even like Letters from Whitechapel, things like that. Where it's like, oh, are they over here, over there?
Right.
And the twist on this one, though, is that usually in a 1v many, the many are trying to find the one. But to try to be dodging the one, and you have no way of knowing where he's at.
They're at.
Oh,
yes.
it's so good.
So good.
I love it and have a great time with this. So Halloween is my number 44.
That one also makes it more fun to be the many. So there's a lot more kind of going on because you're looking for the keys. You have like objectives that you're trying to go do while evading and looking out for Michael.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice pick.
I also like Viking games, Bob. And it should be no surprise that Loot is
Loot.
my number 44. That is Loot with 3 O's. This is from Gigamik, which I looked up. That is the correct way to pronounce it. This is a very basic game where you're working 2 puzzles simultaneously. You're going to take your one Viking. You're going to put him out on the main board. He's going to give you a resource. If you've connected 4 together, you might be taking a castle. Or if you've connected 2 towers together, you might take 2 towers. You're going to take all of those buildings, place them anywhere on your board you want, and that is where you're working your scoring conditions, because you're going to be taking special tiles from the board at the end of your turn, and you got to surround them with these certain resources. You got to put these 3 resources next to this building to flip it over and score off of it. But I just really, really enjoy this tile laying game. It's very simple. You can play it in 45 minutes. Very easy to teach and straightforward. But the way you're putting your Vikings out onto the board and creating links together while also simultaneously working this puzzle on your main board, those 2 puzzles together just create a very satisfying experience for me. And I love how sometimes you can pull multiple tiles from the board at the same time. You get these great combos where, I got this gold, but also just satisfied this tower and also got this castle all to place at the same time. It's a really good game. I've been playing a lot on Board Game Arena as well.
One of the neat things about that game is like some people like a lot of interactions. Some people like solo games, and this game's almost both, because you have the main board where you're doing the interacting and moving and dealing with other people, but then you have your board here where you're kind of doing your own solo thing. And so
They do a nice
like that
job.
It does, both of those.
I like the special abilities they give you where you're not totally like blocked off. If somebody, puts a Viking in your path, there's special abilities that allow you to, normally you
deal with
can't
that.
put a worker where someone else's
there is
worker is. Or this one time use tile lets you break that rule once per game, and they have those special use tiles come in very handy.
There's some good mitigation in that game. And also, that game is responsible for one of my favorite Gen Con stories this year.
Yes.
With the Vikings.
The Vikings. Yes.
It is
Agreed.
great.
All right.
Number 43. My number 43, a new to me game. When I bought my copy of this game, I bought 3 copies of this
Holy
game.
smokes.
Because Kabanga is a ton of fun.
Wow.
It is just your Tim's like, he's like, you didn't have the
I mean, I don't know that this would have been on it, but I need to make sure I've got this listed as a thing. Keep going.
So you have your handful of cards. It's basically a card shedding type of a game. You've got 4 different colors lined up down the middle with 2 numbers, like a number on either side, and you're placing one of your cards in the matching color like row on either side. But then anybody else, if they have a number of that color that's in between the 2 numbers that are on either side of that, they can yell Kabanga and then get rid of all those cards in their hand, and then you have to draw cards for the cards that get Kabanga'd on you. And you're just going around the table, and like the more the merrier, but you can play with 3, I think. But you're just trying to shed the cards out of your hand. Yeah, and it's a ton of fun. I talked to my parents. They really enjoyed it. I got it for them for Christmas because I think that they would have fun playing that with their friends at the RV camp when they go camping and stuff like that, because they like card games. And we've just had we've played it a bunch in the group. We played it a bunch with like other people, and it's just been a hit all year. So
It's a great game. Mm-hmm. It is a great game. West, I played that with West and his son
first
at a
time?
Meeple meetup.
Okay.
And then bought it at Gen Con, maybe.
No, that's why I bought you a copy.
Oh, you bought me a copy
at Origins.
At Origins.
That's right. Because I bought me a copy, you a copy, and my parents.
Yeah,
a copy.
I was like, how did I get a copy? I know I got a copy of that game somehow. Yeah, well done. Great game. My number 43 used to be way higher. I still love this game, and it'll probably always bounce around somewhere in my top 50, and that is For Sale. This game is just, I freaking love this game. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. You've got a set of money at the beginning of the game, and you're going to go through one deck of cards that are 1 through 30, and it's just properties, and you're bidding on the properties. And so as you're buying those properties, you put them in a little stack off to the side. If you don't bid, you're just going to take whatever the last one is left over. Once you go through that whole round, now you're going to pull out this other deck, and it's all like it's money, and I forget what the monetary values are, but there are zeros.
0 to 15,000.
Thank you. 0 to 15,000.
2 of
and
each.
you're gonna put those out, and then you are going to play all those properties like simultaneously. Everybody's gonna pick a card, they're gonna throw it down, and that's your bid on those money cards, because that's how much you're selling those properties for. It's really fun. It's really straightforward. You work your way through one deck, and then you work your way through the deck again and smack Mike in the face. This game's awesome. I love it. It's very easy to teach, very straightforward, and most money at the end of the game wins.
I love this game. I love auction games. It's in my top 100. I love games that support 6, and this does.
Yeah.
Also, if you like For Sale, I'm just going to say next year, keep your eyes peeled for Wine Cellar from 25th Century Games. It has a similar mechanic. Some people might like that theme more, but it does a lot of
I
similar
don't appreciate
things.
Andrew Styles. I'm going to call him out. I don't appreciate Andrew Styles making a game, come gunning for a game that's in my
I
top
know.
50. I take that personally.
I love For Sale. It's in my top 100, but not top.
I love Andrew. He's such a good dude.
Yep.
And Wine Cellar's really good too.
Yep.
I know he likes to, because it gets compared, Wine Cellar gets compared to.
It does,
For
but for good reason. I mean, it's a great game to take some inspiration from.
Sounded good. All right, Mike, what do you
All
got
right,
for 43?
my number 43. I don't see this falling off my list anytime soon. It's Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
This was my gateway game. This was the first game that I played that I asked to play again that night. It was the first game that I bought for my own collection and started teaching my friends. And I've played this over 25 times. I would still play this anytime somebody asks. Lords of Waterdeep is a timeless classic in my opinion. It's got worker placement, which is a great mechanic. It's got a D&D theme, which pulls a lot of people in. And there's tons of variety in this game. The replayability is just insane. There's a huge stack of intrigue big cards, which, give you take that during the game and may screw other people up, which I personally enjoy. I want some interaction in my games. And there's a huge stack of quests that, depending on which ones you fulfill, can give you very different game-breaking abilities that totally change your strategy each game. Lords of Waterdeep will never fall off of my list. It is,
and don't forget all the buildings. And
I was going to
scoundrels
say, you
and
say you
Skullport.
change your strategy every time, but Tim uses the build
I
building
love-
strategy.
Didn't even mention
every
the buildings.
single time.
I do. I just like building the buildings. It's so
The
good.
buildings are so fun. I mean, yeah, you build a building and now that's a new worker placement spot that everybody can go to. But when people go there, you get a benefit. And they're stronger than all the other buildings that are out there.
Yeah.
Also, always play with both expansions.
Yeah.
Always.
Mike, this pick makes me sad. Can I tell you why?
Didn't make your list.
It fell out
Oh
of my
my
top
God.
50. No, it just fell out of my top 50.
He did rank it at least.
It's definitely on my list.
It's not on my list.
But it's just outside the top 50, and it made me really sad. Like, that was one where I was like, remember I was talking about, like, oh, it's really sad to see some of these games that didn't quite make the cut. And this is one that I just...
man.
Like, this is a game I will always own. I will never get rid of this game. I have, like, a nice wooden Daedalus insert for it, like, because I love this game. Like, it's so good, Mike.
I maybe in the next couple years, some of these new to me games will push it out of the 50, but like I firmly
It's good, man.
Did
I
make my
love this
top
game.
100.
I don't see it falling out anytime soon. I still
right.
love this game. One of my most
you.
played games of all time. Bob's like, we can do our top 200, and I might squeeze it in.
So another little behind the scenes here. I just grabbed 200 games, right? That I thought, oh, this has a chance. This has a chance. That one didn't even get grabbed.
Nice.
That's just, I don't know.
Hey,
I try to make the list, the ranking quicker, so I did about 120.
I did 165 games.
After I started going through for a while, I'm like, okay, there's no way this one.
Delete.
Yeah,
Yeah,
started deleting
I would do
some
that
of
as
them.
well. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so that's going to take us down to the answer, right?
That
of
is.
life and
The universe and everything.
and everything. So number 42. My number 42 comes to you thanks to Chris Charlwood. You're probably watching and hating every minute of this.
Yeah, screw you, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw you.
This is just a game of ridiculous fun. Tim and I played through this like for a review. I think is out
Yep.
there. But Chris brought this to a meetup, not a meetup. It was a AdventureCon, Tabletop AdventureCon in Warsaw, one of our local meetups that we have, and it was just so much fun. We're yelling at each other, and you're just talking. You have 5 cards down that have different sounds on them. You have 15 picture cards that are all around, and without using any words other than the sounds that are out there, you're just trying to make your own language. You're grouping them, and you're pointing to words. You're combining, sounds together to try to make your point. And then after that is all done, somebody will be dealt a card. They will say what they think it is according to your new language. Then you shuffle up 4 other cards, mix them in, and then you flip them all over, and you got to figure out what card they were talking about. And I bought a copy of this for one of my nieces for Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they thought this was hilarious. Like one of them didn't quite get it, but the other 2 were like, "This is hilarious."
Yeah.
And because it's either gonna love this game and really get it, or you're just gonna be like, "I don't understand." And
Right.
if you can understand it, it's so much fun. You're like, puda, everybody's yelling. This crazy people are looking at you like, "What the heck are they doing over there?"
I bought this game like the next day
Yeah.
after that convention.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
a great
it's
game.
fantastic.
It's in my 50 outside the 50.
Nice.
But yeah. My number 42, I wish somebody would make a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy board game because then it would always just be number 42.
no matter what.
No matter what. It would always be
love
locked
this
in
game,
there.
be your favorite game of all time. It's number 42.
42.
Yeah.
It would always be 42. Unfortunately, there's not one. So I'm going to go with the hipster pick because now this version's harder to get, but you can find the reprint of it with a different theme. But Growl. I love Growl so much. This was an early Kickstarter game for me that I backed. And I played this game a ton. I've gotten a lot of mileage out of this. This is like a werewolf game, but without like the stuff that Bob hates about werewolf.
Yeah. This is a werewolf game I will play.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Because you're going to get a hand of cards, and those cards are going to tell you what you are, right? Whether you're a werewolf or a villager. Mm-hmm. But then there's this deck of cards you're drawing from, and you're going to you don't get to keep that card. You've
Right.
got to give that card to somebody else at the table. It could be a wound. It could be a bite. It could be a charm,
Money.
which cancels, charm that cancels out a werewolf bite. And so, or maybe there's a healing salve, which then will cancel out a wound. Because if you get 3 wounds, you die. You get 3 bites. You turn into a werewolf, and now you're on the other team. And then you're going to get to a night phase, and at that night phase, you're going to pass a card to the left and right. You're going to mix them up, and then that way you don't know who gave you what, even though you might know because of how some shady people have been playing next to you. But yeah, and then at the end of the game, once you get through the whole deck, you're going to see who has the most money, and if you're on the winning team, you score your money, and then you just play like 3 rounds. You play 3 days or whatever of that. It plays very quick. It's easy to teach. It's super fun, and I love the table talk when you are the negotiating.
Yeah.
And Tim's been asking for a lot. Oh, look, guys, I can take another bite. You can give them to me.
You've taken 4 bites,
Yeah,
Tim.
but look, I've got a lot of charms.
Yeah, well, charm is definitely going to say you're heavy on, but
Yeah, very charming. But then, because a werewolf might be trying to get those bites so that
they
you
can
pass them
out.
around, right?
Yeah.
Or you might be trying to get those wounds so you can give them away.
Sure.
And it's really fun. I enjoy this game every time. It's not on my list, but you can buy this as Attack of the Mind Flayer. It got a Stranger Things
reskin, yeah.
And that one's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It plays exactly the same way.
Yep.
Same mechanics, very similar things that will happen with the event deck. I mean, they've been thematically changed, right, to fit the Stranger Things IP, and they did a nice job with that.
Yep.
I just prefer Growl and that art and like the way they did that game.
Yep.
Growl's my number 42. Oh, I love that game.
My number 42 is always a hit. It's Star Wars Rebellion.
Woo!
Yeah, one of the best 2-player games you'll ever play. A very good implementation of the Star Wars IP. You're either playing the Rebels or you're playing the Empire. And as the and as
I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just wait until these guys talk about it. That's what we'll do.
Well, it'll be a few weeks.
It's going to be a while. But no, Mike is right. It's fantastic.
Cat and mouse. You're either trying to find the Rebel base or you're trying to hide from the Empire. It's a ton of fun. It's
almost
epic.
hidden movement.
Kind of.
Oh, yeah. Hidden base.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
hidden deployment.
this is the best implementation of the Star Wars theme.
Yes,
that there is.
I agree. I have
Just thought of
played
another game I
so
forgot.
many Star Wars games, lots of them. The deck builder, the Imperial Assault, the Armada. I've played a lot of different Star Wars, the Risk one, but Rebellion is the best implementation of Star Wars. You can literally send Luke to Dagobah to train him to be a Jedi. You can try to turn people to the dark side. You can freeze people in carbonite. Like, it's just, it feels like you're playing through the original trilogy. But you should also make sure you buy the Rogue One expansion for it because it fixes the combat and makes it even better. Like the old combat was okay.
I wouldn't say fixes, but it definitely streamlines it.
Yeah, I think it makes it better. And then you get like multiple decks to choose from because then you can choose to use either because there's like the cards that you have that you're drawing and using. You can choose to use the ones from the Rogue One expansion, or you can use the cards from the original version. But either way, you use the combat system from the Rogue One, and that is very good. Adds new units and everything. You can build a Death Star and blow planets up. Yeah.
I still need to play Outer Rim, but otherwise,
I played that too.
I agree with you.
It's fine, but Rebellion is still a better implementation of the Star Wars.
100%. 100%.
So is that going to take us to our final one of the list? Number 41. I was kind of surprised that this one landed at 41 for me, just because it's new to me this year. I've only played it 2 or 3 times, but I did really enjoy it. Andromeda's Edge.
I didn't even bother putting this down.
That's too bad, Tim. There is a lot going on, and the rule book is not great. But once you figure out like how to play, it's a bunch of fun because you're putting all your ships out there. You're building new ships. They have different ranges that you can put them down from different ships you have in play. And then you're building these modules that come out from the side of your player board. And as you recall to bring your workers back, which are your ships, you're adding them to your modules and you're activating them, and you can. The timing of that is super interesting because you can like pull one back to build a thing and then use your ship out on the board to build where that's at, instead of like pulling all your workers at one time back and then just putting them out where you want because you're doing them one at a time. And just that timing element of that And the way the events work as you go around is you do different things to trigger this event marker, and then it adds new locations with new resources. The deluxe version comes with a really amazing insert. Don't bother with the sleeves.
Right.
Maybe the smallest sleeves for the tactics cards because you do hold on those, but the rest of them you can just ignore. But then the buildings that you put out there look phenomenal. Like, it just adds a lot of table presence to it. And it's just, I thought it was a really enjoyable game. Yes, it takes a little while. Like I said, the rule book is not laid out in a very organized manner, in my opinion. I would definitely take some of the little stickums, and then you go, well, you can put them in the book, and the section, little tabs, so you can be like, oh, like combat area is here, end of turn is here, because it doesn't have a great flow to the book, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, this game was really good. But it just for engine builders, there's other engine builders. It takes a little bit to get going,
better for sure, and they are ranked higher.
Yeah, fair.
I like this one a lot. I got it ranked higher.
Yeah, I bet you do. Bet you do.
We're a big Dwellings fan too, so. This is very similar to it, but I think it was better than Dwellings.
It is.
Because I played Dwellings and I felt very, not necessarily just limited, but just like I couldn't do what I wanted to do. It was frustrating.
Yeah, because you were limited.
Fair. And then, but yeah, this one I felt more not limited.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which is saying something because it's still pretty limiting early on.
Less.
Yeah.
All right. My number 41, the last one I will talk about today, is just one of my favorite games based on one of my favorite IPs, and I will never not play this game. It's so mean. And I'm talking about a Game of Thrones, the board game, and specifically the second edition. God damn, I love this game. It's so backstabby and mean, and the tension with the where you assign your orders, right? That's like where the juice.
Yes, because you're talking, you're negotiating. Hey, we should go over here and attack this guy. Don't worry, I'm not going to attack your castle back here.
Chef's kiss. It's so good. I love the betrayal. I hate yet love being betrayed in that game because it always hurts and it's always epic. And it's like, I'm not even mad, as I'm dying because it was like, that was such a good move.
The board game rundown sends its regards.
Oh, it's so good. I love this game. It's super fun. I have always had a good time playing it. And
it's been too long. We need to
get this one back out on the table again and play it. It's so much fun, and it plays really well at high player counts because because all you're doing is you're going to, once you've assigned your actions, now you're just resolving, and you need to be paying attention because you better be damn sure whatever's happening all the way up there in the north is going to affect you because the way you can move around that board and that map, they do a nice job.
I would definitely say that playing with people with different skill levels is you can assign different houses to people who have played a lot.
Yes.
Because some houses are definitely more difficult to play than other houses.
Yes.
And that can almost be like a balancing mechanism between experience and
That's
inexperience.
a very good point. That's a very good point, and would recommend you do that when you're playing with newer people.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, 41. Finish us off for the day.
My number 41 is a classic. It's Container.
Oh, yeah.
I got the 10th anniversary jumbo edition. It's just got these gigantic ceramic ships. But in Container, you're basically producing goods, you're shipping them to be stored in warehouses, you're setting prices on those goods so that other players have to pay those prices during the game, and then you are taking goods into the middle island, which is where all the points are scored. Now there's an auction for every container that's on that ship. So open auction, highest bidder gets to take all of those containers and put them in their scoring zone. But everybody has a card that determines what those different container colors is going to score them at the end of the game. So you don't know exactly. You're trying to figure out what color containers people are going to score the most on. So if somebody already has a whole bunch of the dark brown containers, you may want to stop them from buying more because that's probably their highest scoring container. But it's got great player interaction in a closed economy with auctioning, and it has tons of player interaction. I like these medium weight economic games, and this game will never leave my collection. It's always going to be one of my favorites.
Nice. I'd love to play this game.
Yeah, I need to play it.
Yeah.
I'm not huge on those types of mechanisms, but like it looks cool. Like
Yeah,
the version you have looks very cool,
Yeah.
so I'm willing to give it a shot.
Mike's got the one that's actual shipping containers.
Yeah, I know. They're massive. But just the fact that like you're setting the price that other people have to pay, and you have to go to other people's warehouses to get the containers, just the constant player interaction. I'll never get tired of those kind of games.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. That's great. Man, that's cool. I'd love to play it. All right. That is our first round of our top 50. Let us know what games in our top 50 are did we talk about that you like or you hate? Like, no way in hell that'd be like anywhere. I didn't even bother ranking that. Like, that's so stupid. Let us know. We appreciate the interaction. I would also say if you're feeling really froggy, like try to call out maybe some games we're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know if you had a side bet on the number of Tims that Tim was going to say, I forgot to put this on my list.
Well, that wasn't a thing until now, but now it's a thing.
Now
So
it's a thing.
future lists.
Now you have to go back and rewatch it knowing that needs to be a side bet.
No doubt. No doubt. I think we just found our cold open. Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you. Like Mike said at the top of the show, like, subscribe, do all those things. We really appreciate you being here. We do a live stream, the three of us, every Wednesday. We call it Whiskey Wednesday. Drinks are optional. We have guests. We do topics, top fives. We play games, all those things. You can even look at Mike's Amazon shopping cart if you want. It's super fun.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
All right, guys. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right, for the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
That was Mike.